Hi everyone, welcome. I'm Maria and today I'm making this delicious coconut custard pie. This pie is so good. It's one of my all-time favorite pies. I love a good coconut custard pie. And this recipe is really easy. It makes making a coconut custard pie a pleasure. I think you'll really enjoy this, so let's get started. I start by rolling out my pie crust, which I've already made in this case for the sake of expediency. This pie crust comes together really quickly and easily and is so easy to roll out. It's a basic pie crust. That's why I love using it. Comes out nice and flaky. Just keep flipping it over. Flour your board if you need to. This pie comes together so easily, very quick, and super tasty. Once I have my crust rolled out, I loosen it around the edges. And get it into my pan. Once I have my crust in my pan, I like to go around the edges and just crimp it a bit. If there's any excess, I'll cut that off later, but I just go around pushing the dough between my two fingers to give it a finish. Once that's done, I just go around and trim off any excess. I'll put the link to the recipe for the pie crust in the description below. This is a wonderful pie crust, nice and easy, and goes well with almost any pie you'll be baking, unless you want to use a shortbread crust or something like that. So there we go. You can also take a butter knife and go around and just level it off. I like to do this because the coconut custard will puff up, and this kind of edge tends to keep your creamy filling inside. I also like to poke a few holes in the bottom. Some people say you don't really need them as you'll be adding a filling. I find my crusts are very flaky and buttery, so they do tend to start coming up. I like to poke a couple of holes in the bottom, just using a fork, and that will prevent any of your pastry from puffing up while you're baking your pie. So my crust is ready, and I'm just going to set that aside. For my filling, in my pot, I have 1.5 cups of water and 1.5 cups of milk. You want that half to half ratio. If you really want your custard really rich, you could go with 2 cups of milk and 1 of water, but I find the perfect ratio for a coconut custard pie is 1.5 cups of water, 1.5 cups of milk. Try it, you'll love it. Just perfect for the coconut. So, half a teaspoon of salt, 1 cup of sugar, half a cup of decimated coconut. Now I have 1 cup here. The other half will be for the top of the pie. So half a cup of decimated coconut. Save the other half for the top. And 2 eggs. I'm going to give those a good stir. I find doing it this way, mixing up all of your ingredients and then bringing them together on the flame works best for any kind of custard pie as far as I'm concerned. So I'm going to beat this all together lightly. Make sure my eggs are thoroughly mixed in, thoroughly incorporated, thoroughly beaten into the mixture. Once I have those mixed in, I'm going to add half a cup of flour. This is regular flour. Once I have that all in, I'm going to whisk that together as well. Make sure I get that flour thoroughly incorporated. Using the flour it takes a little bit longer to cook than using cornstarch, but it really makes for a much better consistency in your custard. So I highly recommend using the flour. You can of course use the cornstarch if you prefer. Once all our ingredients are thoroughly incorporated, our flour fully dissolved, our eggs thoroughly dissolved, we want to move this to the heat and cook over a medium flame until it thickens up. Our custard is starting to thicken up, smelling really amazing at this point. The coconut is really starting to give off its scent, and it's smelling absolutely amazing. The one thing I love about coconut custard pie is the way the house smells when you bake them, aside from the taste. As our custard starts to thicken up, you want to whisk really well as it comes together. We will be baking this further in the oven, but you still want to have it cook through really well here. Okay, that's come together now and is perfect. Turn the flame off, and at this point we want to add 2 pats of butter. This will give your custard a nice shine. Whisk that in there, and we're done. Time to get my filling in. While my filling is still hot, I'm going to pour it into my pie crust. Oh, so good. Once my filling is in, I'm going to just spread it out evenly. I have my oven preheating to 325. And this really takes about 20 to 25 minutes to bake. And once I have my even layer of filling there, I'm going to take that other half a cup of coconut, decimated coconut flakes. I like using this rather than the shredded coconut. It gives a really nice look to the pie. It toasts up as the pie cooks. A nice coating there. Make sure you get to the edges. It's a very nice finish for your coconut custard pie. Pop that in the oven at 325 for approximately 20 to 25 minutes. If you find that your topping is cooking before your pie is done, just reduce the heat in your oven a bit. You can bring it down as far as 275. So, in we go. In for 20-25 minutes, and my pie is ready. That took 20 minutes in my oven at 325. I would check on it periodically because you don't want that decimated coconut on top toasting up or burning before your filling is cooked. So check on it. If you need to, lower the temperature. We have to let this cool before I can do a taste test before cutting and serving. So I'm going to let this cool and we'll be back for our taste test. So my pie is ready. It came out amazing. It looks incredible. It smells heavenly. And I'm just going to have my taste test. I've been waiting for this. So let's see. Nice and creamy. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that tastes absolutely fantastic, guys. So good. Creamy. That toasted coconut on top It's so amazing. So good. That toasted coconut topping, it's really a part of the pie this way, and it adds an extra dimension that is so good. The toasted coconut topping, the creamy coconut interior, and the buttery, flaky crust all come together so beautifully. I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. I hope you give it a try. Please take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more recipes like this.